one of the things that you hear from Trump's supporters is that he signed the First Step Act in 2018. He's a partner in this effort. What do you say to people who say, "Oh no, he would be an ally. Look what he did in 2018."
He's not been an ally. I mean, I think the First Step Act was fine. It was a very kind of small reform, and to be honest, most of the reform we need is on the local and state level, because most incarceration is local and state, and most of the laws that end up being criminally enforced are local and state laws. That being said, at the same time, he's claiming credit for those small things. He's also saying, if people are stealing something, they should get shot in the middle of the store. When we protested the killing of George Floyd, he was advocating for the military to shoot us in the streets. He's made it clear throughout his life that he believes Black people are inferior. Like, he believes that to his core, in his bones. He wouldn't let us live in his buildings back in the day. But also, when you hear some of the stray comments, he clearly believes in a genetic hierarchy of humanity, and is racially determined. So he is a tried and true, like, dyed in the wool racist. Like, in the core of his being, he's a racist. So I don't want to hear what he has to say about what he's done for Black people. He's done very little for us. And he is, at his core, truly, truly a racist. And you even hear what he says about immigration and which countries he wants people to come in from. They all are very white.
That is true. That's something pretty universal about them. So I knew you were active on the campaign trail in 2020. You have a lot on your plate. Are you going to be out there campaigning for Joe Biden this fall?
Yeah, we'll get out there probably later in the year, as it gets close to people making decisions about when it's time to vote. I think the choice is very clear. There's a lot been said about age and all these other things. Both of them are old, but one of them is a really decent man who's done a lot to improve lives in this country, and that's Joe Biden. That's who I'm going to be voting for, and I'll be out there supporting him.
Most of what is wrong with the criminal justice system in the United States of America, that's trickled down from the federal level to the state level, that negatively impacts Blacks and other minorities, was started off in 1979, 1981, 1983, 1987, 1991, and 1994, thanks to Joe Biden, Stennis, Eastland, and Byrd. And you can thank them for some of the problems with American criminal law as they negatively impact Black folk. This mess about all of these people in jail, first offenders for one rock, you can thank Joe Biden for, with his mess about crack, even though it seems to have settled into his household quite heavily. I heard the low-down scummy bastard say in front of me, it was in Dover, Delaware, he was on the podium, he said, quote, "Negroes are animals and they turn the streets into jungles and they need to be put in zoos where they are safe and can be observed." He said, "Negro children are animals and they turn schools into zoos. And I don't want my children going to a school with Negroes in it turned into a zoo." I heard him say that. I saw him when he said it. He's a liar. He had to withdraw from the presidential campaign in 1988 because he lied about his academic career. He got found early to have plagiarized some things that caused his expulsion from an academic institution. He's a piece of urban trailer park trash who's had nothing but government jobs his entire life and has turned out a very rich man because of the bribes, the extortion, and the downright payoffs he has gotten under the table illegally. And there's some things that I saw, that I read from the 3 downloaded laptops of his son. There were 3, not 1. I interviewed the technician. They are very incriminating, and there is a high probability that what they're after Trump in Florida for, relative to refusal to turn over so-called classified documents that were placed under an act that, under the theory of Marbury versus Madison, 1803, 221 years ago, were unconstitutional. And what the point was is to get them back from Trump so they could be destroyed and not incriminate Biden and Obama from what was on those laptops. And we have another clown like this person right here who has no political science background, no law background, no political background, no economic background, who is coming in to pontificate about somebody's wrong and who's racist. So every damn thing I've seen about Biden, and I'm not that far under him, just a few years. What's going on is he has no qualifications to sit there and render anything other than an opinion generated by looking at the propaganda of the left of the Democratic Party plantation, of which he is an enthusiastic member. The unemployment rate for Black folk was the lowest it's been since 1968 under Donald Trump. The earning capacity of Black folk was the highest it's been since 1968 under Trump. The greatest amount of money, percentage-wise, of the national budget and in actual dollars devoted to HBCUs since 1968 under the Johnson administration was under Donald Trump. And it goes on. He endorsed the Platinum Plan that Ice Cube, who had made some study of the situation, was trying to work out with him. Getting up there and trying to get us to accept this with his grin on his face when it is a complete lie. It's a propagandistic fabrication. And it is insulting to insinuate that we are fool enough to buy that.
Judge Joe Brown's all new barbecue sauce and seasoning. Just